So eventually I got moved up to a ward. I think it was something like 6 in the morning. So I'm pretty exhausted by then, been awake, only probably had about half an hour on and off, downstairs, ice cold, go and put in this ward, it's like a freezer. Asked for a blanket, that never come during the whole stay on that ward, and I was on that ward 12 hours. So then I'm like there, got my big coat with me, put that over me, and the sheet still absolutely frozen, and fall asleep. Then a nurse comes in, wakes me up. Then I close my eyes and someone else comes in and wakes me up. And literally it was like that all day, and then it got to about, I think it was like 10:30, and the nurse come in, and I'd just fallen asleep again, and she's like, I'm going to do all this in one go instead of keep coming back, and I'll close the curtains and let you get some sleep because I know you've been up all night. And she did all the stuff, and I fell asleep, and then I got woken up by someone else after 45 minutes. And I'm just sat there in utter disbelief, because getting broken sleep is worse than not having any sleep. I'd rather have not slept. So I'm there like, this is unbelievable, like, I need sleep. And I tried, and I had a few 10-15 minutes, but yeah, and then I couldn't get hold of my dad, and I got hold of him and he said he was coming straight away, and it took him 2 hours to get there, which was frustrating. And then basically got discharged maybe 6 o'clock, 5-6 o'clock. Reason I got discharged is, it's not because I'm well, it's because they gave me such a high dose of antibiotics, to name but a few. Like, I was on 3 different ones, as well as I was on a constant saline drip, I was on painkillers, and a couple other things, but they were basically hitting the infection from as many different angles as they could, and I had, I think, 4 doses of each one, so they can do it, so they can set it up so they all go through at the same time. So when they did my second lot of blood work 12 hours after my first lot, basically there was an improvement in the infection. I think the infection, well, your white blood count is supposed to be around 11, and I think mine was 18.7, so it was quite high, and when I left it was around 16, so it basically showed that it was going down, and because it was going down, they said I could go home, but I've come on with medication. And also it was better for me to be away from there, because I weren't going to get any sleep. Even if I was in there tonight the way I am, I probably only had a couple hours sleep. So that was one of the reasons. Another reason is they want to operate on me, and I don't want the operation. And it's not because I don't want to get better. I do have reasons why I don't want the operation, and I'll just tell one of them because, you know, it's a bit private. But one of the reasons I don't want this operation is because of my mental health. It would basically, I'll be off my feet for 7 to 14 days, and then it takes 6 to 8 weeks to fully heal from it. That's if they can do it the way they want to do it. If they had to open me up fully, then it's longer. And because of my depression and how I'm feeling, I basically feel like it would be the worst thing for me. And the doctor agrees with this to some extent, because obviously they don't understand the depression. They feel like me being off my feet would exacerbate, basically make the situation worse. If I'm having a really down day and I just can't get up and go for a drive or do something to try and distract myself, it could push me to do something. So for that reason mainly at the moment, and I'm not saying I would always turn this operation down, because I do need it, for that main reason, it's best that I don't have the operation until I'm getting better, or I'm in a better place than I am now. Because if they do it, and obviously, you know, 7 days minimum before you can move around, and I think I'm not allowed to drive for, it's either 48 or 72 hours after. But I've known people who've had this operation. One of them couldn't drive for 3 weeks, one of them didn't drive for 4 weeks, one of them was 2 weeks, but they were in agony. Me and driving, if I can't drive, you might as well just chop my head off. That's basically what I'm like. So I can't have it whilst I'm this unwell with my mental health. So I'm home. I'm very ill. Like, I shouldn't really be sat out on my car for 2 hours in the cold, but I am, because I want to do these videos. But I'm not going to do another one after this like planned, because I do need to get home, because I'm very nauseous and I'm starting to get dizzy. And I've been told that I'm meant to be having basically rest for the next few days, because I do have a major infection, and if I don't look after myself, I'm going to end up back in hospital. So basically sitting in a cold car for however long this has taken, because I weren't meant to film all this, and I drove from one location to another to this one. It's not really good for me, so I need rest, and apparently I'm not meant to be under any stress or pressure for the next few days, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But hopefully I will get time to get better. But also, because of not having the operation, the infection's going to come back at some point, and also it may not fully clear up, because obviously I'm not on 3 types of antibiotics and they're not fighting it the way they could in hospital, because obviously when you're in hospital they can give you a lot more drugs, whereas they're not going to give you that amount at home, because you could accidentally overdose. And also, when you're being given that amount of antibiotics and pain relief, you obviously need to be supervised. So that is the reason why they did say it may not fully get rid of the infection, but that is basically what's going on right now, and I am absolutely exhausted, and I'm hoping to sleep tonight, and I would love to sleep tonight. Like, I've been so cold since, well, for the last 24 hours. I've had so many broken, like, sleep, and I know I don't sleep the best at home, but it's not as bad as being there and it being broken sleep. So I'm looking forward to going to bed tonight, and I've filmed enough footage for about 8 videos at least, so that'll do. But probably none of this makes sense. Like, I'm not well, I'm sat in my car, I shouldn't be sat in my car, I should be at home, probably should be asleep, but I wanted to get out. But I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to upload the first one, but it won't be up at 7 because I need to watch it, because that's my rule. And I'll try and get it up for 7 PM so that it's one up at 7 PM. And then the same the following night, I guess. I don't know, we'll see how we go. That's the problem with filming in my phone, and that's why, one of the reasons I stopped filming as well. So I'm going to leave it here, because my battery's on like 6%. And I don't like being out the house with it on that low, so I need to get home in the warmth, hopefully, and hopefully get some sleep.